to watch it, and I loved it. I was like, this is a great film.
Alright, and we're live. Hello, and welcome to Oily Trash Movies, the only podcast where two people say unfunny things for 2 hours straight.
You are not recording because you're not streaming.
I'm literally trying to find my stream right now. Go live. Alright, we're live. And, this is the only podcast where people say unfunny. Yeah, I was actually recording, Bubble. Anyway, we're your host. I'm Daddy WarBux.
You got me again. And I'm Bublegum Barbie.
And, oh gosh, I don't even know how to do this anyway. It's been like 6 months since we've recorded an episode. We just got up from naps. Today, we're going to be watching Candyland. But before we get into that, last week we watched the most memorable movie of all time, Death Valley.
Gosh, I don't even remember what happened. I just remember they had guns, and they were going pew, 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 pew.
And they were super handsome. Yeah, I don't have too much to add about Death Valley, although the more I thought about it, and I had mentioned this on the podcast, that it ripped off Alien, and the more I thought about it, the more influence I saw. Like the scene where it's up on the ceiling and the saliva drips down onto the guy's shoulder, and where the woman's hiding behind the crates and it's slowly creeping around, and just the alien running about and all of the air ducts. Very much inspired by Predator. And then I also, when I wrote up the blurb for it, I also compared it to Predator, where you have that scene in the jungle where everybody's shooting, and it's a very traditional sort of action film, and then it shifts into a monster alien movie. And yeah, it takes everything from those movies except the interesting premise.
Right. One thing that really confused me was, and I agreed watching it back, is you said that it didn't know what it wanted to pick. Like the whole preacher thing, Preacher Moses. I don't think there was a Noah one character.
There was no Noah, but then the aliens themselves were based on some sort of biblical species.
Yeah. So it didn't even matter at the end of the whole story. So, and then also them not being clear how to escape the area and just leaving doors open and behind them. I thought that was great. I mean, it was just an overall bland film that I completely forgot that we watched.
Here's how I think you save Death Valley.
Okay.
You give the evil alien lady a more interesting motive, and I think how you do that is you tie back into the biblical themes, and you essentially have her be the embodiment of pestilence, and she wants to bring about the apocalypse maybe, and she talks about, very briefly, having a son that is gonna impregnate the main character's wife for whatever reason, and it's like, oh, okay, well, let's run with that. How about she wants to spread this disease or this alien infection to all of humanity, essentially sending humankind extinct and bringing about an apocalypse and a new age of these demon alien creatures. And then okay, I feel like that would work.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Now, I think there are lizard people out there taking notes and saying, that's a great idea. I think that makes the film way more interesting than what we watched. I just remember people just walking around and talking for whatever reason, and me not listening to any of the dialogue because the music was so loud. It was burning my ears.
The music the mixing was terrible.
Yeah, the action was great. The cast was hot. I loved it. Just those pieces, but the script sucked, which is the writers.
It was such a competent movie. It just needed one thing to make it memorable.
Yeah, which were better writers and better audio mixing. But overall, I think, besides those two main points, I think it was a pretty okay film. I didn't regret watching it, but I also don't remember watching it.
All right, well, a great, stunning review and recommendation by Bubble. If you want to watch a movie that you'll have no memory of, if you ever want to trick yourself into thinking you've been abducted by aliens, watch this movie, because the phenomenon of missing time will suddenly appear in your life.
Yes, it will.
All right, enough about Death Valley. That movie was a stinker. Today we're watching Candyland, and I'm kind of excited about this.
I'm not. I think this is going to be a very terrible film. I saw the trailer. I hated it. It's not my type of film, but I did pick it.
You're the one who. Why did you pick this movie if you think you're going to hate it and it's not your type of film?
Because the idea and the storytelling, I think I'm intrigued with the storyline. I am intrigued with the characters. I think that's where I may like it, is if it's done well, the characters are going to change my mind, and I'm going to be enlightened, and I'm going to have education of sex trafficking or prostitution or being in the sex industry. I'm going to be knowledgeable and aware and know some stuff that I wouldn't have known otherwise if it weren't for this movie, as well as trucker life, because truckers do get my packages across the country to show up in my doorsteps. Thank you, truckers.
Yeah, thanks to all the truckers out there. If you're listening to this and you're a trucker, make sure to like and subscribe. We love you.
And follow us and follow our Twitter. We love you, truckers.
Yeah, and if you're not subscribed, I hope you end up in a ravine somewhere.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think this movie is going to be interesting. I'm hoping to get knowledge on religion in general, because I believe one group of people are a evil religious cult, which I always enjoy movies that... you know what? I think I may have specifically shit on the concept of having evil cults as your bad guy in Spare Parts. That's because they really had no motivation to be in the cult. These people look like they're genuinely religious, like, they hate the prostitutes, they're trying to save them, but then they're evil too. So they sort of have their own motivation. My favorite evil religious person is the lady from The Mist. Great film. And I'm hoping this will give us some of those same dynamics.
I don't think I've seen The Mist.
That was based on a Stephen King short story and directed by, I want to say his name is Frank Darabont or Darabont.
Oh, okay.
Who is the director, I think, of the Walking Dead series. I could be completely, if I'm wrong, cut that all, but he's a
I'm not going to research it.
Okay,
so if you're wrong, oh well.
Fair. Yeah, tell us in the comments. If I'm wrong, fact check us.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, do you want to read the synopsis of this before we start?
I don't have it. I guess I do. A seemingly naive and devout young woman finds her way in the underground world of a truck stop sex workers, a.k.a. lot lizards.
Hell yeah. Yeah, our best friend is a trucker who only sleeps with prostitutes. You should know this vernacular by now.
I know. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know it. So apparently, this has gotten 4 Indie Awards of film. So now that I'm looking at it, London 2022. Horror Film Festival at 2022, and then we have it doesn't say, but I guess it was nominated for the Locarno Film Festival, and then you have the Grimmfest.
Okay, so this might actually be a good movie, is what we're saying.
So this might actually be a good movie, and that's pretty impressive, so...
This movie came third place in a competition with 3 movies. All right, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Here, get those coughs out. Okay, we're opening up right with the good stuff.
Well, this is the trailer. This was part of the trailer, so this is not shocking. If you've seen the trailer, you've seen this.
Sounds like a good... We should have just watched the trailer and reviewed it. There's a school bus. Ah, she's in the school bus. Alright, so we got our lot lizard visiting all her Johns. You're gonna have to mute all of this so we don't get copyright struck on the music. David Sardi is not gonna be happy with us. Oh, having sex in a truck stop bathroom.
Ugh. A glory hole.
Yeah, God's in there. Dude, this song just mentioned dinosaurs. Did you hear that?
I did not. I hope there's no more sex scenes.
You okay?
That first one was pretty traumatic. Look at that dope-ass ride.
Yeah, does this movie take place in the 80s? Whoa!
Oh my gosh. Those poor children.
Yeah, technically she's breaking the law. With public exposure or public indecency. You have to put a little cat emoji to censor that. So already, I don't like the main preacher's delivery. He was in it too hard, you know?
Yeah.
Like when a religious person's just like talking to you, he's not gonna use that preacher voice.
He's gonna talk to you like a human being.
Damn, good choice on Movie Bubble. Ah, and she's brushing her teeth. Man, at least I know we're gonna have a bomb-ass thumbnail.
Oh, they're those end is near kind of type of...
They're a doomsday cult. You know, it would be great if this movie just took a complete 180 of where we expected to go, and she actually does repent and quits prostituting and becomes a lady of God and gets married in a church. Is there gonna be a dead body?
Yeah.
Ah! Oh my God. He's still breathing. It's
I'm just gonna say right now,
doomsday weapon.
This guy sucks at his job.
The cop?
Yeah.
You didn't see nothing weird.
Or, wait, he sucks at being a cop or he sucks at being an actor?
He sucks at being a cop.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see if he catches the criminal or not. So that's William Baldwin, who is, I believe, Alec Baldwin's brother.
She sleeps with a cross. I wonder if this is how Aunt Mom sleeps.
Almost certainly. Okay, yeah, so the old woman lets all of the prostitutes live in the motel in exchange for a cut of their profit. I believe that's the house mother, they might call that.
Okay, I can't go back.
Did that cult rot her?
Yeah, aw.
Damn, these guys are paying her in pocket change.
Would be so upset if someone was paying in pocket change.
We need here for this one to really give us the down and
accurate
gritty
count.
on how true to life this is. You're like, wrong. Lot lizards aren't that hot. Roll one. You never get in a hotel with them. That's just asking to get robbed. I guess she's got the snowmen or the Santa Clauses in the background, reinforcing that this is around Christmas time. Oh, I see a reflection of a Christmas tree in the TV.
So, this whole lot is exit 17.
There's 3 stops like ours on Route
What is this, a reality
But
TV
if you're
show?
going west, this is the
Yeah, that
last
was a
stop for
really,
any quality action.
Incongruous cut compared to the rest of the movie so far.
Good, clean, old-fashioned, drug-free pussy. And dick.
I prefer my pussy with drugs, please.
There's 4 parts. The pit. Think of it as a neighborhood.
What is it, a heist
Walk up to
movie?
any old house, knock on the door at
Yeah,
2
they're
a.m.
putting
and be
together
like,
their crew
"Hey,
right
how's it
now."
going? You
So this is how we're gonna successfully steal $1 trillion.
Yeah, the truck carrying the gold bars arrives at 8 p.m.
This is your room
It's the truck is carrying 100,000 WarBux.
for yourself.
Whoa, that's a lot of dinero. Oh look, they bought her new clothes and everything because she is now a prostitute.
She got her prostitute wardrobe.
They took her to a shopping spree. To the
That's the
Goodwill
scene we
across
needed,
the
where
street.
she comes out of the dressing room in increasingly sluttier outfits.
Oh yeah, a fashion montage. And then all the prostitutes are like, oh no, no, no.
And the one gets the idea, she comes up and, like, pushes her boobs out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oh, man, get wrecked. Damn. Great gore, though. Man, that starchy red corn syrup splatter. That was perfect. Wait, he's like a 90... He's a preacher? He just comes in and lectures her for 30 minutes.
I hear you're a Christian. How cool is that? So am I.
Oh,
I say your
God.
prayers every night, Ray? You are so beautiful.
Oh no! Oh my dear God! Is she gonna kill him? Give him the Sonya blade where she snaps his neck. She Sonya bladed him! Man, that tooth gap. Well, what now? Now you got a dead body in there.
So that's her job then. Like, they dropped her off at the truck stop so she could cleanse
the world of sin.
Yeah, of sin. What? She didn't even bother clean the knife? Bro, like, everybody knows you sleep in that room. Like, get him out of there.
There needed to be the scene where they looked over and saw his dentures were still on the counter for a little bit of tension.
That was pretty good gore.
So the cop is kind of an asshole, but he's also kind of got their backs, you know? Look, he cares about Levi.
He's in love with him.
Even though he's like in a relationship with him, kinda.
Every time.
What the fuck are you doing?
Damn, the guy just murdered somebody.
Fuck you!
Have some compassion, Rex.
Really, Rex? He said not now. He didn't say not never. Oh, the body is right behind them.
Yeah, it was in the cab that whole time that he was trying to make a move. Hey, you know, I like the juxtaposition of, like, this grisly murder and, like, this horrible, disgusting truck stop with all the constant Christmas music. I love Christmas music.
Yeah, Christmas music is really great.
Damn it, Sadie.
Damn, how many women they got in that bed? Preacher's still in there? Wait, there were 4 women in that bed? Doesn't even seem possible.
This poor little boy actor.
Hey, cutie.
They gotta flash him their tits? Ah, jeez. You're going to jail, lady. So she's gone rogue, is what I'm getting.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're gonna commit suicide.
They're gonna do it Jonestown or Johnstown.
Yeah, I think so. That's what I'm guessing.
I think what makes this movie kind of interesting is that all of the characters are interesting in the sense that they all have flaws. Like,
Yeah.
the cop is a good example where, you know, he does try to do his buddy Levi a solid, but at the same time, he's kind of an abusive asshole to him. And, you know, the prostitutes,
I am ready for you.
they're not necessarily evil, but they're certainly not good people, I don't think. And this is really what I think real people are like. Nobody is one-dimensional. Nobody's a good person or a bad person. Everyone's just trying to do things, and everyone has flaws, and blah blah blah. I don't know. I don't want to get too metaphysical.
But it's true though, because remember that's what I said. Like, I don't think I'm gonna like this movie unless the characters and the script does really well, the story of it, and it's already succeeding in that. The characters are very dynamic. Each one of them can stand on their own. There's complexity into it. Each one has a motivation as to why they're doing or in the path they're currently in and why the choices they make. Like, I did like the coffee shop scene and how they spoke as to why each individual does prostitution. One is for the money, the other one is for just 'cause they like to party, you know, and the other one, I guess the party is because of the thrill.
Yeah, some people are
It's on
just
and so
addicted to sort of lifestyles like that. Oh, she's all grown up now.
Oh, they're like all staring at her like, oh, there she goes.
A little
Our
bird has
little
left
baby.
the nest.
Old ass semi. How you doing?
Ah, that was a great blood splatter when she pulled it
Yeah,
out
that
and
was
it
really
hit
good.
the window like that. There's so much blood on that knife now.
She doesn't even take the money.
Well, yeah, and plus, what do you do from here? Now that truck's gonna be sitting there that everyone just saw you walk up to, and there's a dead guy leaning with his throat slashed open against the window.
Like, they think that the prostitutes aren't gonna catch on when they're like, hey, you want some french fries? It's just like, I got no money. The plot twist is that she falls in love with the gay guy and they run off into the sunset.
And they get married in a church.
They have 25 children.
That's cool.
She is crushing on him.
Hold up. You can have it.
Aww.
He's like, I don't want your half-eaten.
Yeah, he's like, I know where that
save it
mouth's
for you.
been. They start praying together. There's a bullet hole
She's
in
like-
his car.
No, I think it's just like a nail.
It is a pretty shitty looking car.
What? It's a Cadillac. What's wrong with you? It is not a shitty car.
There's not even any paint.
So that's fixable. It's probably like a 1982 Cadillac. Look at that interior.
I can't believe no one's put together that every time this woman enters a vehicle, the guy inside is dead. She gonna kill the EMT workers now? And is the priest still underneath her bed?
I think so.
It's gonna start stinking soon. So she's committed, I think, 5 murders now.
Yeah, the first guy, the old guy, the other old guy, the 2 ladies. Yeah, 5 people. Wait. No. 6 people, because she killed the old guy, the trucker, the one trucker in the bathroom, then the old guy, then the other trucker, then the 2 women, then the guy in the Cadillac.
Okay,
So
6
6 people.
6 people she's murdered, and then Levi killed a guy. There's been a hell of a lot of murders at this truck stop.
Yeah.
I feel like the
7
state
people
cops
dead.
would start getting involved at this point. Actually,
I think it would be the federals.
yeah, the FBI.
As soon as there's 3 people, yeah, at the same stop, they would get involved right away. I think they would get involved with the first death because it's a transit situation. There's
Yeah.
always people passing through.
If you've crossed states, so I don't know. I don't know how murders are investigated. I have 0 experience.
This movie just has so many plot holes, it's ridiculous, and it drives me insane. Oh my gosh, she actually did do it with him?
No, she just walked into the room and he's like, "Yeah, come make yourself comfortable." I'm assuming she's about to kill him, or maybe she is falling in love and she's gonna leave behind her murdering ways.
She can't kill him because she doesn't have her cross with her. She really does like him.
Yeah, I can tell. She's technically still a virgin, I think. Oh no. What? What are you doing? I feel like that's not a fatal wound. It's just a pencil.
No, it's a fatal wound if it's done right.
Yeah, but like it's a little pencil. You could like put your hand over the wound. Like he's still gonna finish before he dies.
She did. Yeah, look at her. She's still turned on. That's nasty. She improvised that, the actress.
Yeah, kissing his shoulder.
Merry Christmas, babe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that woman pretty much cleaned house. Like, it's time to move on. At least take a shower. What are you doing? It's snowing outside. It's cold. You're all wet and bloody. You know, this is technically a slasher movie. Ah, it was great. Damn, there's no one left. Is she gonna get it next? She's just going door to door now, killing everybody.
And if you still want
So wait, what happened to the cop? The cop hasn't showed up.
He hasn't been around for a while. Not since the scene where he tried
Oh my gosh, he's gonna kill her because he's gonna find out that his
boy toy.
his swit thing was killed.
Yeah, he's gonna be pissed. He loved Levi.
Yeah, he did. Like, genuinely loved him. He told him that his wife Claudia is great. She does the chores and cooks and shit, but
I'm really sorry.
but he just when he looks at Levi, there's just something sexy about him. How is she like, okay, so we have seen every night that they all sleep together, they're all in the same room, and all of a sudden nobody questions why they're not together.
Yeah.
She literally shanked everyone with that Jesus cross. Everyone's dead, so she's the only one who's becoming suspicious of her.
It's like Among Us, but in a motel. So she's killed everyone in the movie. There's no one left except for the cop and Bruce. She should go back and kill her family now. Is this the cop showing
Oh no,
up?
it's the cop. He's gonna see Levi and he's gonna get pissed.
Nora!
Like, Levi, I'm sorry.
Motherfucker.
Oh man, I would never trust a Baldwin with a gun on set.
And he drops her off on her cult family and they live happily ever after.
I mean, he obviously doesn't suspect her.
Inside with me.
Oh, come on. There's no way you can get away with killing a cop.
Oh, she didn't make it on time.
Get wrecked. Jesus. This movie has an incredible body count.
No, there's a scene of the children that's gonna make it creme of the creme horror, like Star Wars. Is this it? Is this all the children? Is this the scene like Star Wars? It is! It is the scene like Star Wars. Who covered their bodies? They did.
That's what I was thinking. So one person would have had to have waited to cover up all the bodies, and then would have to cover himself up somehow. I don't get
But still have his hands crossed. So many plot holes. It's ridiculous. Oh no, they all left to heaven without you.
I hope there's a scene that shows them all up in heaven having a good time. She was a good actress.
Yeah.
There's music. I don't know why she's so pissed.
Because I left without her.
Yeah, but she left too, just a little bit later. They're all going to the same place.
Okay, so this movie wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I actually did save it. So exactly what I thought. It's the only way I could like this movie if the script is good and if the characters are good, and it was.
Yeah, I would say that this is a great example of what you can do with low budget and solid writing. Some of the religious stuff I did feel was slightly one-dimensional. I don't know the point of Bruce showing up and then just leaving. That seemed a little bit
Santa Claus. Yeah. The whole point of Santa Claus is because there was obvious a Christmas theme. This was made in a Christmas themed time, which also goes hand in hand with the whole religious cult. Christmas is the biggest religious holiday, and that makes sense. So I think that's the whole reason why he was there.
I feel like you could have done a bit more with the Christmas theme. Maybe they were all planning to kill themselves on Christmas Eve, something like that. But as far as, I think all the characters were pretty great. Some of the prostitutes were slightly interchangeable. This scene here with this creepy old man, the juxtaposition between humor and creepiness was perfect. And then she Sonya Blades him, which is a great way to go, let's be honest. That guy's 75. He's going out that way. I'm happy for him, honestly.
He just stayed under the bed. He stayed where he wanted to be, under the bed of hot women.
Yeah. Having prostitution sex all night long.
Yeah.
But this motel was great. The truck stop was great. There was some weird editing, like right at the end of Act 1 that really like when they were setting up the heist scene, like that never came back. That felt a little bit out of place. But
The heist scene.
I think generally this movie was very effective.
Prostitution heist.
Yeah.
I mean, I never knew that prostitution heist was the thing, but now I do. See, I did come out being enlightened and more aware of human trafficking, what it takes to be in that profession, the dangers of it, the dangers of both being a consumer and
A provider.
a provider. It is a very interesting world, and this movie did enlighten me much more. I did really like the characters. Like, I like this dynamic between the cop and
Levi, and then also Levi and the murderer. That was pretty good, too.
Yeah.
Levi was, I
Yeah.
think, the top cast. He
was a top cast.
stole this
was
movie.
great. He did steal this movie. He's the one that had me more. I mean, him and Remy also had good chemistry. Like that whole scene where they were, how she was more involved in that way, was also falling in love with Levi, which I think is still a thing, which is why she ended up losing her virginity to him. She did do that purposely and then killed him right after.
That
She
was
could have killed him way earlier.
It worked because it was perfectly built up. They had the scenes leading up to it where they're sort of flirtatious with each other, and I thought it was a great little detail. I don't know if you saw this, but when she reaches for the pencil to kill him, right next to it is the half-eaten pastry that he said, "I'll save it for you."
I'll save for you. Yep.
So that
Yeah,
shows
so
what a
romantic.
good guy he was. But then, boom, got shanked.
Yep. And this whole idea of them always being together in the same room, like that plot hole really bugged me. And then when everyone is slowly dying, they all have their own rooms for some reason. Maybe it was a hot night. Maybe that's what that means, that they were able to separate their own. Well, Levi always had his own room, though.
They're always sort of together, like in the morning, so maybe they're all working in their own individual rooms in the evening, and then when everybody goes home at like midnight, then they sort of come together. I don't know. I do see what you're saying, where, it's like they have 4 women sleeping in one bed here, and then they all have 4 separate rooms. There were certainly some plot hole issues, especially with, like, how does she account for all of those dead bodies? Like, the one guy, like, 2 of the guys were right in their car, completely visible in broad daylight. But this movie really isn't about that.
Right, and they literally saw her going in, and that was her, like, clients. So the fact that the pink hair started realizing who she was when everybody else is dead is shocking. That really annoyed me because I'm a huge crime person. I like true crime, and this movie didn't do it for me in the true crime aspect, but it did it for me in the gore and in the storyline and in the character building. And I think it's always a hard story to tell.
I think this is more just sex workers than necessarily human trafficking victims, because they didn't. I mean, the one woman was just like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm done. I'm leaving." One guy was like, "I'm only doing this because it's fun." Like, they're not. None of them were really forced into it.
But yeah, you're right. Like, just a sex
workers,
sex working story,
which I feel like the sex working aspect of it sort of petered out, and it became a more of a. I was actually sort of surprised that this became. Because I guess it was kind of a slow burner, but it became an all-out slasher by the end of the third act.
Yeah.
And I'm still confused about Bruce's existence in this movie.
He's just Santa Claus.
He was just Santa Claus. Look, he came in and slept with a woman.
There's the 3 Santa Clauses in the background. Look, in this scene, there's always a Christmas theme in this movie in the background. There are the 3 Santa Clauses on this one where they were sitting down and talking to each other.
It was definitely
Christmas tree.
They were all wearing Santa hats at the very beginning. Even though this is Montana, which is pretty far north, I'm surprised that they didn't have any snow until the very last scene. But I'm glad that they brought that because it did make it. It did reinforce the time of year that this took place in. But again, I feel like there was no closure on the Christmas thing. If it had been Christmas Eve when she kills the rest of these people, and that was when the family was planning on all killing themselves, that I think would have been perfect. Just something to tie that in, because it's almost sort of inconsequential that this takes place during Christmas.
Maybe that's just it. Maybe that's just the indie theme. Do you remember when I was telling you that they always have like these little quirks and challenges?
Oh, like
and
you had to write a prostitution movie that took place during Christmas?
yeah. Yeah, like you have to, no, the theme has to, you have to have a Santa Claus, someone dressed in a Santa Claus, or like that's the prop. The prop is the cross or something like that, you know, and you have to, everybody has to like incorporate it in a very creative way, and then they have a line. They usually were, that one
If
film
that is the
where-
case, then this movie failed on that front because the Christmas theme was not implemented in an interesting way. It is basically inconsequential. Like, this could have been taking place during Halloween. Like, they could have had, pumpkins in the background instead of Santa Clauses, and Bruce could have shown up dressed like the killer in Scream. In fact, being that this is kind of like a slasher, it might have been more thematic to have this movie take place in Halloween. And, you have the guy show up like he is a killer, and then it's like, oh, it's the killer. And then she puts on the mask. It's like, Bruce, quit playing around. But I guess that would be almost too hokey. This was a very serious movie, I would say. Though we did have
was a serious movie,
some levity at points. This was not the Alone at Night sort of. Oh, now I've got the Freddy mask or the Jason mask on, and I'm doing a sexy show. Let's get this guy's dick off the screen here.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. I was all oblivious. I disagree with you with the whole Christmas theme. Like I mentioned, I think this is about a religious cult, and it being Christmas is kind of like that jab of it. And then I really liked the idea of the Christmas music of the soundtrack.
I
all these
love the
classical
Christmas music too.
I really love that. So in that form, like they did, if it was a challenge of the indie film, the idea of them playing the Christmas music as their score is brilliant, and they succeeded in that.
Well, it is fantastic juxtaposition with this super wholesome, like religious Christmas music at a time of year when it's all about peace and happiness and peace to the world and heaven on earth and blah, blah, blah. And then you've got like all this murdering. But like I said, I think all you need is one line where the cult is planning this mass suicide on Christmas Eve to be with the Lord, or because they believe they will be reincarnated, or what's that word, resurrected in 3 days in heaven.
Yeah.
I think one line could have tied in the Christmas theme. That's all you needed.
I agree with you. Imagine the kid going to his sister's like, tomorrow's Christmas. Will you be coming with us?
Yeah, or
like something
you have the
that.
Christmas tree and like you have a bunch of unopened presents at the cult house. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Why would they wrap all those presents if they were all going to kill themselves? Well, it's because they believe that, I don't know. This is a very solid script, but
it is.
I'm picking at the nits, you might call. But yes. I think you could have tied that in better. Really, I have very few complaints. I love we already talked about the sets, but just the location with those mountains in the background was gorgeous. I think maybe you could have also had a little more. You could have used the truck lot a bit more, because there's nothing cooler than seeing like a bunch of trucks parked around idling. I don't know if this was...
You know what would have been cool, too?
What's that?
It's like, you know how when you go into a gas station, especially a truck stop, and you see all these different truckers just passing through? Like, that would have been kind of like
you needed
cool
the extras. You needed the show.
The extras.
This really, I think
the bustling life of a truck stop guy.
This is some backwoods gas station and diesel place in Montana. This isn't actually like a big truck stop, is I think why we didn't have that scene. This is where like there's like 5 trucks pulled in at any time.
But still, just getting those 5 trucks pulling in, and it's all these different dudes or different gals, just like the 4 out of the 5 is there just doing their job, and then there's that one guy who's like, "Hey, come over here, honey." That would have been interesting to see.
You needed a scene with some extras in it to show that this is a populated, bustling truck stop, which it really isn't. And even that truck stop bathroom wasn't a real truck stop bathroom, because truck stop bathrooms where truckers stop, they have showers, like coin-operated showers and stuff, because these truckers don't have any place to shower, so they pull into these stops. And I don't know. Again, these are very nitpicky type details.
No, and now that we're talking about this, yes, it would have been nice that they showed the bustling, hustling truck stop, because
you needed that at the diner. Because there was that one scene at the diner. You needed to have a bunch of truckers in there, like sitting at the bar, ordering, like, give me a double shot of espresso. I just did 13 hours straight, and I got another 13 before my shift's done. And, you got the big fat guy getting the double, like, triple quarter eggs. Give me 16 eggs and 8 hash browns and 14 sausages. Yeah, you needed something like that.
Yeah, because during the heist, also, they talked about... how this is the heaven spot, like this is the most popular spot, because you get the drug-free pussy and dick. Here, everything that Megan is saying right here is like, I need more of that extras of the bustling and the truckers ordering for eggs and stuff. Yeah, but...
Like, there needed to be trucks coming in and leaving at all times. Because that's what a truck stop's like. There's 24 hours a day. People are fueling up. People are getting shitty, greasy food. I mean, I love the look of that cracked paint behind them. Like, that director saw that shitty paint job on this wall that's been cracking under the sun for 60 years. And he's like, we're going to have as many scenes in front of this as we can. And that was a great decision, I think.
Yeah. It is. This is, overall, like, the film was done really well. The audio was done well. The script was pretty solid. The casting was pretty solid. This was funny. This whole, like, how they do,
where the guy comes in and just blows his ass out immediately.
Yeah.
There were a few moments in this movie where I was reminded of.
Oh gosh, and then we even did a Glorious reference. Like, yeah, this movie is a solid movie, and I think other than the changes we would do, that was pretty much it. But I do not regret watching this movie. I think this is going to be in my vault of memory when it comes to story. I'm going to remember this movie because of its story, because it was well written.
And the acting. The acting in this movie was... We've seen some shitty acting in some of these, like think back to like Float, and or the worst, the one that we always bring up, Jeepers Creepers, where every line you could basically just see the script in your mind.
The Coachella. The Coachella.
This is the Coachella of truck stop prostitution spots, honestly.
Yes. Yes, I mean, come on. Yeah, I agree. This is a really good film, solid. Would I recommend to people? I would recommend this to people who want to enlighten themselves when it comes to prostitution, or how this, like, something that is serious and you could come out getting something out of it. I would recommend that to people. I wouldn't recommend this to many people, because it takes again, like, I have to have a trigger warning of, like, the sexual, like, it takes a type of person to want to watch.
There are some difficult scenes.
And it is a difficult topic. Prostitution, a lot of people are like, know about it. Sex, a lot of people know about it. Sexual, physical, mental, like you were mentioning, between the cop and Levi, that's a true thing, and that's but overall, the story is good. I see why they were nominated a lot, but then again, there is plot holes, there is issues with it here and there, but overall, it's pretty solid. I would give this 2 or 3 bubblegums I think I'm pretty confident with 3 Bublegums.
Okay,
So
that
that's what I
feels like a
went with
low rating.
I mean, it is, but I think it's a pretty fair one.
All right, I was gonna go as high as 7 out of 10 WarBux.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
this is gonna be in my top 10 for sure. I think it's gonna clock in at number 5, which is just below Zone 414. And Zone 414 is another movie that really shows what you can do with a low budget. Zone 414 was a
Zone
lot
414 is-
more ambitious than this, so it's gonna obviously rank higher. I'll tell you what I find really interesting about this movie is that the main subject matter, which is sex working, the movie doesn't really seem to make a statement on sex work.
That's right.
Where a lot of times
Yes.
you'll show like, oh, this is horrible. These women are, like everything about it's bad. Or, this is 2023. We have a lot of people in this world who glorify the sex working industry. We've got OnlyFans. We've got. It's almost a political issue these days where everyone wants to support sex work, and this doesn't seem to be either pro or anti-sex work. It just sort of shows the reality of prostitution. They call it the world's oldest profession. It's something that's always been around and will likely, as we saw in Zone 414, they just have robot prostitutes in the future. So
Yep. Yes. I do agree with you because that's so true. It was just a story of the sex workers. It didn't really make a statement in any way besides its little truck stop and its world of where it exists. And again, it showed at the same time the risk of both being the consumer and being the provider. And it was,
which is the reality.
The characters were so dynamic. Yeah,
it is. But
really
you know what?
is.
That's life. You could die in a horrible traffic accident at any moment. You could be killed by a serial killer at any moment. You could be murdered by somebody, by a podcast host for not subscribing. It's just you might get killed by a prostitute.
This is a type of film that next episode I will probably have things to say, just where I didn't have much to say with Death Valley.
True. Yeah, this is a movie that you can think back on and stew over and think about all the different scenes. But yeah, I would also recommend this. We're unanimous here. This is not an oily trash movie. Although it, like some of the other good movies we liked, the oily trash is the characters and the sort of the premise of the film itself. All right, that's all I have.
I hope that you like and subscribe because I'm going to get my beautiful carved cross that is on my nightstand. I'm going to have it with me next time.
And she's going to pray with it.
Yeah, I'm going to pray with it.
She's going to pray that you subscribe.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
All right, cool. This is YouTube. This is satire.
All right.
Oh, God.
Remember to mace directly in your face.
Take care, comb your hair. Bye.
Bye.